This is called a spring pole lathe. This is the way Tupperware has been manufactured for about 4,000 years. Grateful Dead. This is all part of the dance.
So when you're done, is it going to be like a Harley Davidson?
No, it's just going to be a plain old bowl. Plain old everyday wood bowl used for serving food, or preparing food, or storing food, or throwing your keys in at night, drinking beer, drinking water, drinking wine, anything you need to do with it.
So how long have you been in business?
I've been turning on this lathe since 1991. And about 10 years before that on modern power lathes. But doing traditional work even then. I guess I went through a little phase where I was doing more modern artsy-fartsy stuff on the power lathe. But I got back to traditional work pretty quick, and then I built this thing. So I specialize in reproduction treenware, which is the old English word for woodenware or wooden dishes.
You built this lathe yourself?
Pardon me?
You built this lathe yourself?
Yeah, I built this in 1991. And that's the traditional way it's done. I've done lots of research on these old lathes and the tools that are used. And they're always made by the turners themselves. So it's not a piece of joinery. I'm not a joiner. A joiner is a different trade. Somebody who can make these boxes, who can make accurate square corners or drill straight holes. As a turner, I don't, that's not my specialty. My specialty is what I'm doing up here. So I just build the bench any way that I need to support where I know what I'm doing. And I realized that looking at lots and lots of old lathes and realizing that these things are never a manufactured item, as well as the tools. Most wood turners were also rudimentary blacksmiths, good enough to make their own hook tools, make their own carving tools. It's because it's a real personal thing. So, I know my style of cutting and what shape and size tools I want and stuff. And it's hard to describe even to the best blacksmith exactly what you need.
Yeah, I see that's a hook tool.
Pardon me?
It's a hook tool. That you use.
Yeah, they're called hook tools. Just a long-handled knife, and the edge is bent around into a hook shape. If you think about it for a minute, if you're familiar with more modern tools, or actually these gouges are also medieval in origin. This happens to be a modern one, but you're probably a little more familiar with that. If you look at the business end, you can see it's the same tool. See that?
How do you
The
sharpen?
handle's on a different orientation is the only difference. So as this tool cuts this way, this tool cuts the same angle, would be this way. Be the same cut. But while I'm cutting at that angle, the handle is back here where I am. With that tool, the handle would be way over here. So it kind of makes more sense in a lot of ways, especially with the limited access I have to it. What I'm doing right now, I'm still in the rough out stage. I'm cutting this down enough to get rid of most of the flat spots and the little pieces of bark that are left on there. And I'm getting pretty close right about here. So I can start to see how much wood I've got left. And I can decide what shape of bowl I want this to be. How you doing today? You did?
Yeah.
Nice.